Welcome everyone. Now if you're new to my channel, my name's Neil, welcome. Existing viewers, welcome back. Just a bit of background. I'm 61 now. I live full time in my camper van and I travel around the UK trying to find new places to visit and new experiences to enjoy. Quite adventurous. I love walking out in nature. Hopefully you'll come along with me and have a look at these terrace gardens. Hopefully you enjoy my video and come back for some more. Let's go. Just imagine the amount of time and money it must have taken to build all this up on the hills. The Italian lake. Okay. It was one of the earliest areas of the terrace garden to be completed. It was produced, well, it was designed by the garden designer Thomas H. Mawson, and it's inspired from Rome. It'll probably look better if it had water in it. And we've got some more buildings down at the end. Same sort of design again. I think that must have been a waterfall into the lake. If you don't like walking up steps, then this is probably not a place for you to visit. With it being a terrace, each level is accessible by steps. I'll just spin round and show you. As I say, steps from each level. Yeah, if you don't like steps, don't come here. I mean, it's a feat of engineering just building these steps. Without building all these buildings. And how they've built them. I mean, they're not man-made bricks. Stone cut blocks for the steps. Let's go up this way, see where this takes. And here we have something which looks like a bowling green, but I'm sure it's not. Some more buildings. This designer really went to town, sticking all these buildings up here. Or park buildings, should I say. They're just like archways and steps to the different levels of the terrace. But that's quite a stunning view from up here. Well, this is a beautiful place. I'll try and get a bit more information about who was behind all this. Who was the landowner? Well, I understand it was the person who set up Lever Brothers, but I don't know what sort of year, how much he paid, how long it took. Must have taken quite a few years, I would have thought. Yeah, get the information. I'll stick it in the description of this video, just in case you're interested. Seems everywhere I look up here, there's a little bit more building. So you got one level, a bit further down you got another level. Park buildings and archways just stuck around. We've got this tower. Oh, there's a sign. Let's see what it says. Well, apparently this is called the Pigeon Tower, and it was built by the owner as a birthday present for his wife back in 1905. I think you get some stunning views. In fact, I can see some stunning views. The view over the moors. You can understand why they would have spent time up here. There seems to be quite a lot of water around here. I know there's a Rivington reservoir, but there's also seems to be offshoots of water. Terraces are all enclosed in a wall with them same archways. Well, you think when they're spending this much money designing this terrace garden, I wonder if they did the planting of the trees. I mean, how old are these trees? I have no idea. They could be hundreds of years old, but I don't think the terrace garden was built hundreds of years ago. So there might be natural trees and trees which have been supplanted as part of the design. But I think after 100 years they're all part of the landscape. The guy definitely liked his Roman influences, because this looks like, well, if it was inside a cave, I'd say it was a place for worship of Mitra, the bull, which the Roman soldiers used to worship. It has a very temple feel to it. I just have to take some shots of this, because this architectural design which they've implemented here is quite interesting. You could be in the centre of Rome, or you know, the outskirts of Rome. I'd be interested to know, well, if you can tell me in the comments what type of stone that is. And it's not slate, even though it's got a slight slate like appearance. But it seems that they've used a lot of that on the build. I don't know if that's been naturally in the hill or it's been brought here. Either way, there's a lot of weight there, I would have thought. You can just imagine, height of summer, the lord and of the manor up here having a garden party here on the green. I can see it. In my mind's eye, I can see a party going on there. Well, the only problem with my thought of the party on the green is that there's no substantial buildings here. I mean, the only building so far I've seen is the Pigeon Tower. So for the guests to be up here enjoying, I suppose they could have, yeah, they would have probably ridden up on horses rather than walked back in the day. But there's no stable in here either, so maybe they did walk. Or maybe that's just my flight of fancy and they never had parties up here. Well, I turned another corner up in these, off these paths, and I find another building. It really went to town building all these things up here. You could spend days, you spend a long day up here discovering all these little hidden gems dotted around. If you go out into the woods today, you'll be in for a nice surprise, especially it's the woods around Rivington with its multi-layered paths around. Stunning trees. If you like trees, it's a beautiful area for that. The birds are a bit quieter today. And strangely, you can hear the birds, but I can't see them again. And if you come for a picnic out here, please take your rubbish away with you. And don't bring a barbecue. This whole area is a tinderbox, especially when it's been nice and sunny and dry like it has been the last few days, the last week or two. The last thing we want is all this to go up in flames. So be careful if you do come. Let's keep it for future generations. Not that the modern generation seem to enjoy coming out into nature like I did when I was a kid. They can probably watch all this on a video, sat in their bedrooms. Not quite the same though, is it? The reality is always better. Well, I found yet another path. Another well-maintained path. I'm not quite sure who's doing all this work, but they need to be praised for it. So I think sometimes in these natural beauty areas, beauty spots, there should be, I don't know, a donation box somewhere. I mean, as far as I'm aware, this whole area is free for walkers, mountain bikers, dog walkers, etc. And we don't pay anything towards it. Well, again, it's a path led me to some sort of building works. Maybe this was a house of some sort. It looks like it has rooms, and that looks like a chimney. And if I go a bit further down, I can see some water, so we might have a private lake down here. Still can't get over the size of these boulders dotted around. Well, apparently from the sign I've just read, this is the old kitchen gardens. And that's a nice view. And the building was a separate bothy, I think that's how you pronounce it, for the kitchen, with 4 rooms in it for cooking, for the main house. But I've yet to find the main house anywhere. Now that is a view to take home with you. That's everything. I might use this as a thumbnail actually. Yeah, that's a thumbnail shot, that is. It's worth this walk up into the moors to discover the hidden gardens, the terrace gardens of Rivington, with its strange Romanisque architecture. Well worth a visit. It seems to be, but it's paths leading off into the wilderness everywhere. I think you need a full day to explore this area. I think one of the things I really like about going for walks out in nature to places you haven't been before is all the little things you discover as you're wandering around. It makes my life more enjoyable. And I always think, well, nature's impressive as itself, and sometimes people can add to nature, building things, designing things. And I think at Rivington here, the architect of all these gardens and the area is really adding something. I mean, all this is man-made, or built into the natural formations maybe, but majority seems to be man-made. It's an impressive feat, however you look at it. Well, this was designed to represent a Japanese garden. I think it was, if there were some bonsai trees around, it would look Japanese, or more Japanese than it actually is. Beautiful. That's all I can say, it's beautiful. Well, I keep making these videos of walks in the woods, out in nature. Unfortunately, I don't get a great deal of viewers for them. But I'm going to keep making them because I enjoy filming nature. I mean, if you're coming along with me on my journeys and you actually watch the videos, great. I mean, there could be films for posterior, not posterior, posterior no. Yeah, so these films, these videos are something I could leave, or my granddaughter could view in a few years, and to see what Grandad used to get up to. And I think as well, as long as I'm fit enough to do these walks, I'll continue to do them. I'm sort of like looking at the camera and looking at my feet at the minute because I'm going down steps. And we don't want any mishaps, twisted ankles, broken legs. Well, that was the Rivington Terrace Gardens area, an area of natural beauty and man-made beauty, if I do say so myself, because I think that was impressive. I think now it's time for some lunch, if I can find my way back. There don't seems to be any signs pointing any which way to go, and these paths lead in left, right and centre up here. I think some of them are mountain-bike trails and some are just walk trails. I'm going to leave this area and going to have some lunch, I think, and catch some more rays while the sun's out. Well, that brings us to the conclusion. The amazing Terrace Gardens up in the West Yorkshire Moors around Rivington. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed before, please subscribe. So until the next one, bye for now.